Shepherds of Men is a secular movement started by three men of faith. We wholeheartedly believe that when we get the men right, we get the world right. We believe this because we believe that men are created and called to be leaders, and we believe there is an alarming deficit of leadership in our world today.
And although the three of us have come from drastically different backgrounds, our core principles have given us a unified voice that is needed now more than ever to pave the way for a fundamental change in our culture.
We are quite literally calling men to something great.
Welcome to the movement.
What is up, world? This is Cam coming at you with the Movement Podcast and Shepherds of Men. Joined as always by my brothers JP and Wilson.
What's going on?
And in the ranked studios with producer extraordinaire Odin.
What's up?
You can hear him in the background. We're pumped to be here, man. We've actually been in the studio for a while already, and we're just doing some prep work for this MEN Reforged program that's coming out. I know you all have been hearing about this, and if you haven't heard about it, you will be hearing a lot more. I mean, we've been the last couple of episodes, we've kind of scratched the surface on what's coming down the pipe, and now we're going to be kind of, over the next couple of episodes, we're going to be digging in. What the hell are you doing over there?
I was cooling myself off.
Oh my gosh! I'm looking at. I thought he was giving me like hand signals of like, what does this mean? This is a new one.
Steel.
Like, am I taking a ball or am I swinging? I have no idea what's going on.
I need you to steal. I need you to steal.
Stay still.
Wow.
I'm over here
and I wanted to
fidgeting.
just let it go, and then I thought, well, that's not really us. We should probably just talk about it.
Yeah.
If nothing, we're real, if nothing else. But anyways, back to regularly scheduled programming. So we're going to talk about, kind of break down the 6 characteristics of the ethos of an influential man. That's what we're going to do over the next 6 episodes. They're going to be short. It does.
Man,
Sexy.
sounds good.
Sexy.
It sounds so good.
Well, as Josh has started saying, and we're going to be adopting as a group, we are redefining masculinity. And to some of y'all, that's going to sound like, oh, it's a nice little catch line. To us, that is a passion and a purpose and a life journey. And I'm excited about it, man. I really am. And I'm fired up a little extra just because there's been some additional conversations. I've heard people say recently they got their temperature up a little bit. I respond the same way. When my temperature gets up, it just makes me play at a different level in a good way. And that's probably going to happen as long as we're in this room right now tonight. So,
well, I think we all do, and
yeah.
I think it's one of the things. It's like we talked about before. One of the things with a man is you are men tend to respond to challenges, man, and you can take that however you want to, But when you're challenged, that's when you play at your best. When somebody comes to you. Now, if you don't, you got some things to fix. I think any great man that's done anything significant in his life has had the naysayers or the people talk to him about how he either can't do it or what he's doing is useless or whatever it may be. And that drives a man. I mean, that challenge is important for a man. And we kind of talked about that in a previous post, but I think that's important. I'm glad you said something about that because that's really what it just throws gas on the fire. It
really does.
Right.
I mean, I love that shit. I mean, it's one of those things where it is a challenge and you have to work through it, especially when it's people that are close to you or whatever, and you have differences of opinion. But I'm not like a lot of people in the world today where just because you have a different opinion than me means I hate you. It has nothing to do with it. But it does motivate to continue to grow myself and to continue to dig further into the truth and my reality. And go out and educate others in the same vein, So I'm pumped about it, and I appreciate the extra fire.
Well,
so,
we got
any
some
other haters?
We got haters, and we got people who are like passionate about like whatever you're coming up with. Let's go. I'm ready
for
to
sure.
Go.
Yeah.
So you got both pieces to it. I like them all. But any feedback is good. So give us feedback.
Well, like literally about the same time those messages were coming through, we had another, and it was interesting because I wanted to just take the one message and send it to the other person. Be like, I get that you don't understand what we're doing here, but this person right here is literally telling us that this has impacted his life over the last 8 months to a significant level. And like whatever we're doing, like the MEN Reforged program that we're going to keep breaking down, they already want to be a part of it because they understand it's going to help them play at another level.
Well, and if you don't get it, you're not listening. That's the biggest thing. If you don't get it, you're not listening. You don't know, where our hearts are with what we're trying to say and what we're trying to convey. and what we will be conveying, and as we master our craft, a lot of people will be more beneficial, or it'll be beneficial to a lot of people. One of the things that I love about it, though, is if you guys notice the parody, you either like us or you hate us. Yeah. Like, it's one of the two. It's either you guys are a bunch of dickheads, or it's, dude, you guys are kicking ass. Like, you guys are awesome, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I love listening to it because it makes me want to do more.
Yep.
It inspires me on the days where I'm like, kind of dragging a little bit. I'll pop in one of the podcasts, listen to it and stuff while I'm driving down the road or whatever it may be, and it fires me up. It makes me do something that day I would not have done. And that's what it's all about, man, because I don't want lukewarm people.
Be hot or cold.
Like, don't, like, seriously, man, I'm cool. Like, if you just want to come up and be like, oh, you guys are okay, like, that is... Oh, like, dude,
I'd ask you to stop listening.
Yeah. I just want people to be on one end or the other. Either you're offended because you're not doing what you should be doing, or you don't relate, or for some odd reason in your past it's affected you differently, which I understand there's different perception to things, but
well, here's what it comes down to. The message is still the message, and if it challenges you, that's good. The message is supposed to be challenging.
Right.
So when you get challenged, it's how do you respond?
That's right. Yeah.
Like, do I get challenged and go, damn it, I need to be better. I appreciate you rubbing me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Or do I get challenged to go, you're an ass? Like, that really is it. Like, the message is still the message. Truth is always truth. And it's just how you respond to it is the difference. And so honestly, if we weren't getting responses, I would know that we're not being strong enough. We're not being passionate enough. We're not letting it rip enough.
Right.
Right.
But because we are getting those, it's pretty evident. So, real quick, as we're going to roll through this evening, you can find us, shepherdsof.men. We've got some new stuff coming down the pipe, so just keep listening, keep an eye on that. We've got new web presence coming that will be
sweet.
So good, so engaging, and it will allow people to actually engage with us as opposed to just have a place to see our cool shit,
Right.
So just keep an eye on that. If there's any changes to URLs and all that kind of stuff, we'll tell you. But for now, you can find all our stuff at shepherdsof.men. That gives you links to all our platforms for social media, as well as all the channels you can hear us on the podcast and our YouTube channel. And as we like to say, take a moment right now, go to YouTube, subscribe. And we've seen the subscriptions growing. We're pumped about that. And there's going to be more of that to come. So if you'd like to see Wilson's pretty face, that's where you go.
You did get a haircut too, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And all this snow?
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
Life continues.
Some people didn't do anything this week.
Right.
Wait, what?
So let's get into it. So there's going to be 6 characteristics of the MEN Reforged program, which is going to be the ethos of an influential man. Number 1 characteristic is association. This is something that in a way is self-explanatory. Some people will probably hear that and be like, that makes sense. You want to associate with the right people. I hear people talk about that. I will tell you, for us, association has been something it's the reason we're here. It's the reason that we've become brothers and had the opportunity to do some life-changing things together. But we have deemed that and realized that is one of the most necessary things that you can do as an influential man, is to associate with the right people, with the right things, and the right environments, and learning how to continue to grow a network there. So you guys got anything I'm going to go through kind of some of our bullets on that, but
I couldn't agree more. I mean, it literally, for my life, it changed everything. So once we met you and some other folks that you introduced us to, totally would never go back. Right. So it's definitely, you can meet somebody that could literally impact you in ways that you never thought of. And that would stretch you in a place to where you wouldn't necessarily be 5-6 years later. We wouldn't be in the position we were in if we didn't have this association. And then think about like what we've done here at this table, which some people may not think it's a great thing, but a lot of people have been reaching out to us saying, dude, you've impacted me just by listening. So you can get association just by listening to the folks that you think are awesome.
Let's be honest. Even the haters believe that what we're doing is a good thing. They're just scared of it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Exactly. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's uncomfortable. So, and you kind of hit on it a little bit, is content association. That's one of the things of association. What are you putting in your brain? Like, what are you reading? What are you listening to? What podcast are you digging into? What other personal growth stuff are you watching on YouTube? What kind of books are you devouring? Just content. And then on the flip side of that is, what's the stuff that you're still putting in that might be bogging you down? So we're going to talk a lot about like how important it is to not only plant good seed, but you also got to weed the garden. You also got to pull the bad stuff out. Like weeds are they're automatic. They're going to come up regardless. So you have to be intentional about removing the association of, and I'm not going to get bogged down in this stuff, but I like, depends on what level you want to play at. The people that really want to play at a true 0.001% level, like Coach Burt was talking about, they're even to the point of, I'm not watching movies with certain things in it. I'm not watching TV shows with certain things. I mean, like, you can be that refined. That's a personal decision. But I think even just being aware of, what's going in on a regular basis,
or just being aware of what stumbles you.
Sure.
Yeah, there's some things out there that you are taking in that you don't even realize that it's messing you up. So,
well, I think it boils down to sense gates. One of the best lessons that I learned, years ago was about guarding your sense gates. What you're looking at, what you're listening to, what you're speaking. I mean, all the way to what you're saying. But that's paramount. That's something that a lot of people don't associate with association.
What
is content, right?
Yep.
That's a big thing. People just think, oh, I'm going to go watch this show. I know it's not the greatest, but it's not that big of a deal. When you watch 3 episodes of that show that is putting bad crap into your head, and then you go to bed, that's autosuggestion. That's your subconscious mind, and it's incredibly important. And you don't realize how important it is until you make the change. That's when you start to realize how important it is, because that's when you start to notice the differences in your life. The stuff you say, the things you do, start to change, and it's just like, holy shit, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Right, 100%. All right, next one is networking and connecting with people. We've talked about this a lot on different episodes. The reason, again, that we all know each other was through networking in some manner, some form or fashion. And to this day, honestly, the reason Men Reforged, the program, is moving forward so rapidly the way that it is, the reason that our venue project is moving forward, the reason that your transportation stuff is moving forward, like, all of it is through networking. It's all through connecting with people. It's like we talked about, surrounding yourself with the right people. But then once you get surrounded with the right people, or you at least get in the door of a good environment, then it's learning how to connect with those people. How do I associate past the cocktail party? Right. I mean, we were in an event last weekend, and to be honest, like, there's a couple of conversations that could quite literally turn into game-changing moves.
Absolutely.
Just because there were 2 people there that have worked on themselves for a long time that ended up connecting, or 3 or 4 people, or whatever it was. But it is that just ultimately powerful experience of people that are preparing on a daily basis, coming together and going, what are you up to?
Yep. And what I'm really excited about with that is what we're going to do with the Men Reforged program is we're going to unpack how to do that. Like, not just being present at a networking event, which that's step 1, is showing up. But step 2 is, what kind of value do you bring? And we're gonna unpack some of that stuff as far as when it comes to networking, how you properly network with people, how you make people intrigued to know why that relationship with you is important for them. I mean, we met the guy that popped Osama bin Laden.
Oh, dude,
that Navy SEAL that popped Osama bin Laden, man.
And stay tuned, because he's already committed to coming on the podcast.
And he's already and that was another aspect of it, right? That's called having a set of nuts. We literally chased him out of the building.
We did.
We're like, whoa,
with
before
the
you run away, I'm going to tell you right now, there's something that we're doing right now with the Men Reforged program, the Shepherds of Men, that we would love to get your perspective on, and just to hear your story, man, because I think it's impactful. What
was cool too is there was zero hesitation on his part. Because you got to know, I mean, this dude's been around the planet a few times, and there's no telling what types of environments he's been in. He now O's looking at me weird. Well, y'all got lots of signals going on. I haven't eaten mushrooms in days.
Focus.
What's happening?
What are you doing?
I'm going to keep talking while you're staring in my face like that.
You look good. You smell good.
I bathed on Tuesday. What's today?
Good for you. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's twice as much.
But no, you got to know that he's got some level of respect just for coming out there. You know what I mean? Like, literally hunting him down in a sense, and chasing him down and saying, like, listen, dude, we're doing something important, and we think you could add some value to it, and we want you to be a part of it. And he was like, yep, absolutely. He's like, talk to my guy Justin here, and let's make it happen. So
if we weren't there, it would have never happened. It would have never happened. I mean, how often do you cross paths with a Navy SEAL that shot Osama bin Laden?
Yeah, you're welcome.
That time.
Once.
Yeah. How many of them have? Oh, that guy.
Listen to Wilson. You're welcome.
Yeah, I was hoping somebody would hear that.
You're welcome.
I was kidding.
Oh, and the episode's over. Well, it's good being with you. No. It's funny stuff, man. want to. I'm not going to tell the story. Maybe we'll get him to tell the story when he's on here about what the lady said, because Dark 30.
Oh God,
Dark 30 is the movie about what happened, and he basically said what happened in the movie is not like the way the lady reacted is not how she actually reacted.
Let's let him wait. They're gonna have to wait.
So I'm gonna jump to Inner Circle, which again these are associated, strangely enough. But these are the people. These are like your core. These are your brothers. These are the people that you're running with. You're doing life with. I've told the story way back when we first started this about how there was kind of some separation with all the guys in this room due to changing business endeavors and doing stuff like that. And I got a strong feeling that like these are the people I'm supposed to do life with. And so we had to have some conversations about like regardless of the directions we're going with careers and businesses and all that kind of stuff. This is my inner circle. These are my guys, and I'm glad I had that conversation and we're all here. But it's hugely important. You look at anybody that's done anything significant, and I can't remember who I was listening to recently. I think it was Ed Milet was talking about that very thing. He's like, all these people talk about self-made this, self-made that. He's like, I'm not self-made anything. He's like, the only reason I have anything I have is because I got an awesome inner circle.
Right.
Well, that's a great point. And I wrote something down just associated with this as we were talking about this, and it was bad company corrupts good character, but good company can take somebody from good to great. Nobody becomes great on their own. I'm glad that you said that because it's really important. That inner circle, iron sharpens iron, like we talked about, and that kind of plays into the Men Reforged idea. And that's the idea behind this program that we're creating is to get men around other men. Yep. Influential men that you can learn from, men that you can get better from, men and bring in men that can make other people better, and that should be the goal there. I may be better at something than you are, but you're better at something than I am. Mm-hmm. And that's how you become great because nobody does it on their own. You don't do it by yourself, and nobody's self-made. I mean, it's just that's just the fact of the matter. I mean, and that's why we say that association is probably one of the top things because you'll never reach your potential on your own. Never. By yourself, you'll never reach your potential.
Not possible. Because you can't be as John Maxwell will say, you can't be at a 8 or a 9 in every area of life. There's going to be some areas where you're only a 2 or a 3. And that's why you got to surround yourself with other people that are 8 and 9s in those areas. Because when you put that puzzle together, you got a complete box on the front, So,
absolutely.
And they'll keep you in check.
And I would much rather have an inner circle that will bust my balls.
Yep.
Much rather. Chris, too. He loves that. The fourth piece of association is progression to interdependence. Now, you've heard us talk about this before. A lot of that conversation has been led by JP. And as he's taking a sip of his drink right now and I catch him off guard, I would actually like you to kind of take the lead on that progression to interdependence piece because I know that's something you've studied.
No, for sure. And I love that. And I love studying like the psychology of the mind. And one of the things that's really, I think where we miss it, or we have missed it in society, and where we have a deficit, is the fact that we've gone from dependent is probably where a lot of people sit today. People are getting married later on in life. They're going through college. They're staying at home later. They're 25 years old before they even consider being on their own and being independent and stuff. But independence is a mindset, right? It's more I am self-sufficient. I have the ability to live on my own. I have the ability, and not just financially and having your own house, but mentally. Can you live with yourself, or do you need somebody else to tell you stuff all the time? Right. That's where you progress into the independent side of things. But where the magic happens is in the association of interdependence, because now you're independent, but you choose to depend on people where you're a 3. That's true interdependence because you can do it on your own. It just might take you 4 years.
Right.
But interdependence goes, you know what? I can do this. I know I can. I have the confidence in myself to do it. But I'm smart enough to know that I need to develop a skill set in interdependence to go and work with other people that are at 9 where I'm a 3.
And that's brilliant. And the only thing I can think about while you're talking, other than how brilliant that is that when you talk about this is where the magic happens, I just picture Cribs. Like for anybody that grew up in the MTV era, like Cribs, they did Cribs. And
I don't remember that part.
Oh, it's because you're a baby.
I remember.
Well, this is where every time. This is where
I
the
remember,
magic
was it
happens.
Master P's son that came out in the little what it Power Wheels with spinners on it?
Oh, yeah.
Master P's.
What's his
son
name?
came
Lil
out
Bow Wow?
Yeah.
It was Lil Bow
Yeah.
Wow. Then it just became Bow Wow.
Yeah, Petey Pablo had the place that was like a townhome where the screen door was like ripped in and stuff like that. And he was living in
Redman too. Redman and Minute Man. Like Redman lived in like the apartments next to mine.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
that's great.
awful.
That's great, and they loved it.
Oh yeah. Playing.
Marshawn Lynch does the same thing
Yeah.
today. He still lives in Oakland, like kicking it backyard style, like don't be a menace in South Central.
So great.
Dude, it's awesome. Anyways,
So
That was
sidebar.
an awesome side story.
You're
No,
welcome.
but I was
That's
going to
free.
say with what you said with interdependence, it's really cool because you see successful people. They put people in place in their sphere of influence to help them achieve their goals.
Yep.
So that's kind of what you're saying is like, you see those billionaires, they didn't get there on their own merit. Like they worked hard. No, don't get me wrong, but they put people in place where they suffered, like you just said, and worked together as a team to create that goal.
Well, that's another part of interdependence that I kind of skimmed over there.
Yeah.
Is people that are very solid and mentally mature to where they've moved into interdependence and they've truly mastered that are a great judge of character.
Yep.
Right.
Those people tend to be extremely good at judging character, and that's why those people are so successful because they're able to self-select people like, hey, this is my dude.
Yep.
This is my guy. And what's cool is when you're on the opposite side of that and there's somebody that's really successful that you could tell has mastered that and they talk to you and go, that's my guy. And it's you. That's a good feeling, man.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we want people to get with this Men Reforged
exactly
program. We want them to stand out. Like we want to redefine masculinity in the sense that where you are literally a shining light in your environment, and people go, my dude.
Was it a great philosopher Rihanna said?
Shine
bright like a diamond.
Right. So, guys, listen, that's association. That is the first characteristic of ethos of an influential man. The four little kind of splinters there that we talked about was content association, networking and connecting, inner circle, and progression to interdependence, which we'll probably call PTI or something like that so it's more efficient. But we're going to dig into the rest of these on the next upcoming episodes. Again, check out everything. As the progression happens, you will see updates on all our social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on shepherdsof.men. And we are pumped about having all of you at a high carbon experience soon. Welcome to the movement.